One of these sort of tactical things in terms of being in a 3D environment and not having control of the camera, how are you directing attention in terms of what people should be paying attention to any given point in time?
So, like in the real world, when people look up or standing on a street and looking up, you will go stand next to them and look up. It's very simple to direct people's attention in that way. That's one of the earliest things I learned, is that other humans, you're attracted to other humans first and foremost. And then secondly, there's simple tricks like, an audio bang to the right will make you look to the right, or if you really need to direct people in the experience. But mostly I don't do that. Mostly I don't have to do that. It's amazing how strong the experience can be for people, even though it's a unique experience. And I've learned that if I just create what happened, and people are looking around, and maybe they missed a moment, the guy falls to the ground, but then they turn around and everybody's staring that way, and the guy's on the ground, it's still really powerful. So I have learned to kind of take a step back and really watch as people let these stories unfold the way that they are going to let them unfold, like in a natural way. I mean, they're still very effective.
Are they in a way interactive in terms of, are people moving around and then events are triggered, or is it just kind of on the rails, it's the same experience for everybody, it's just what they happen to be paying attention to?
I have put a few triggers in, and I just don't know the answer to that yet. I've done both. I think mostly we just start the narrative and let it go because that's the way that it unfolded in the physical world, and you can't change that. So I try to be respectful of what really happened, but there's room for the interactivity. We'll just see how people approach it. I've started to see people really working in this environment in a way that's unbelievably cool, making really intense stories. For example, I have this guy, Oscar Raby. We'll both be at the Sheffield Documentary Film Festival. He made a piece trying to deal with his father was a young military officer in the Chilean dictatorship, and a death squad showed up and made him sign the paperwork, and then they massacred some people. And he was a witness to the massacre. And it was a very deeply affecting moment for him. And he told his son, Oscar, when Oscar was 16, and Oscar became an artist and he said, feel like, his whole life trying to, 20 years trying to come to terms with what his dad had witnessed and what had happened. And then it wasn't until the Oculus came out that he could build a piece that actually let him come to terms with the story. And the piece is very powerful. So that's the kind of stuff that's being built in these environments and these platforms that just couldn't be built by trying to recreate it in film or write about it in text. There's something about asking people to go on the journey with you or be in the journey itself that makes a story, I think, the term is more visceral. That makes the story more deeply felt and understood. And because of that, understood.